this isn't just a Ducati.
It's Carl Fogarty, who is the new world champion. It's coming home to Great Britain. Carl Fogarty is world champion for the third time. The whole of Great Britain is celebrating.
Besides me is a Ducati 916 SPS Carl Fogarty replica. 202 units made it to the market, and what makes this one that much special is that it's chassis 0.001. In 1998, Carl was arguably at the peak of his powers. He was fearless, he was strong, and one of, if not the fastest blokes on two wheels. An already two-time world champion pursuing his third, and he secured said third on this bike, securing 11 race wins. And what Carl was achieving on this bike is nothing short of incredible. So behind me is my own personal V4 Panigale 2022 bike, 220 brake horsepower, racing rims, suspension, yada, yada, yada. I've got the better part of 100 brake horsepower more, wheelie control, traction control, slide control, and all the electronics under the sun to keep my rear planted to the track. Do you think I could keep up with Carl on something that's got 130 brake horsepower? Not a hope in hell. The talent these guys had and what they were able to achieve in the late 90s with no electronics is just mind-blowing. Ducati released 202 pieces of this 916 replica. So the already iconic 916 was a pretty darn good bike. What made this one that much more special was, think of it as a finely refined version. Carbon front guard, carbon on the chassis, carbon throughout the bike. You have the Öhlins adjustable suspension front and rear. You've got titanium conrods, titanium exhaust, the Marchesini wheels. It was as close to a world superbike that you could get on the road at the time. Why do we love riding bikes? What is it about riding bikes that there's a certain particular group of us can't stop? We just won't stop and can't stop. There's something about riding a bike when you're in a certain RPM, going around certain corners, the drive out, you feel the bike moving, you feel alive, right? And bikes just capture that feeling better than anything else. Here at August, we are predominantly a supercar dealership. For me, supercars are the closest thing on four wheels to give you that feeling. There is nothing like the rush of being on a bike, pushing your own particular limits. You may not be blisteringly quick, but you feel alive. And the fact that I'm sat next to representing, because this is what we do here at August, we represent the best stock around. We buy, we sell, we broker. The fact that I'm sat next to a bike that's been preserved for the better part of 2 decades, a Carl Fogarty replica, chassis 0.001. Unrepeatable. This may be the only opportunity. Not only do I get to see the bike, but most definitely one of the only times I'm ever going to represent it. And what a special feeling that is. So what's next? Well, if anyone has any relation, contact with Carl, if you're watching, highly unlikely you're watching my YouTube channel, but if you are watching, please come and sign this bike. I think a bike of this magnitude needs to be signed by the legend himself. And then following that, we're going to be teaming up with iconic auctions, prolific in motorcycle auctions. These guys are the go-to name. We're going to be working alongside them to bring this bike to market, and it's going to be on sale towards the end of August 2025. Of course, off the back end of that, we want to give back, so we'll be doing a notable charitable donation from whatever the bike earns, and it just goes hand in hand with how special, incredible, unique, unrepeatable this bike actually is. So if you don't already, give us a follow on social media. It's at August Performance. We'd love your support, and of course we'd love to just show you and represent this bike to the best of its ability and show you exactly where this bike goes and who owns this piece of motorsport history.